Hi, welcome to part 2 of your training from the Mother's Way, your guide to photographing your children authentically. This week, we are going to talk about making it light. So, how do we find good light in any situation? If you're photographing your children indoors, my biggest recommendation is to use natural light. So, try to be in a room where there's a lot of windows. I like to open up all the blinds, open up all the curtains, get all that beautiful natural light like streaming in as much as possible. And I also turn off all of the ambient lights. So any lights, you can see even here, any lights are off because they tend to cast different colors on the skin. So some lights cast like a bluish or greenish color, and some cast like an orange color. And also, usually lights are coming from above you, so that would be like sunshine at noon. It's giving you shadows, like dark shadows under your nose, under eyes, and same thing on your children's faces if you have all the lights on. So if you're photographing indoors, my recommendation is to use natural light, open doors, open windows, get as much of that natural light into your frame as possible. My second recommendation for finding the light is to use open shade if you're outside. So you might have heard this term open shade before, and typically it's just finding a shady spot outside. So if it's bright and sunny and there's a big tree, you could put your child in the shade of that tree, or maybe there's a building, the side of your house. Put your child in that shady spot. And my biggest tip for this is to make sure there's still access to the sky above your subject. So if you're just going to put them under a tree, but they're under all the green leaves of the tree, then that green is going to actually reflect on their skin and cause like some color cast. So if it's possible, try to have open area to the sky above your subject when you're photographing them in shade. But yes, often I would say you could use like the shade of your home. Usually at any time of day, you can find shade somewhere. There's like 1 hour, and that's like right at noon typically when the sun is like right overhead and there's like no shade. But other than that, you can usually find shade. And then my third recommendation for finding the light is golden hour. You might have heard this term before as well, but golden hour is typically 1 or 2 hours before sunset or after sunrise. It's called golden hour because the sun is lower in the sky and it's casting like beautiful golden light right before it's about to set or right before the sun's about to rise. And that light is softer, so there's less shadows that will be on your subject's face, or the shadows aren't so harsh because they're not beating from so high above. So golden hours gives you a little bit more flexibility of where you can have your subject. And it's really beautiful to shoot during golden hour. My tip for shooting in golden hour is try not to have the sun like directly behind your subject's head or like right here. Try to have it like to the side a little bit. Because otherwise you'll notice in your camera, if the sun is shining right into your camera lens, it's going to be really hard to focus, and you'll get like a lot of like sun flare, which can be really beautiful if you can figure out how to control it. But at first it's kind of annoying just because like you can't focus when the sun's coming right into your lens. So keep that sun off to the side a little bit, and you'll have a lot more flexibility when photographing your children. So I hope that is helpful in helping you to find the good light. Indoors, you're going to want to find lots of natural light with windows. And outdoors, I would start with using open shade or golden hour. I can't wait to see what you create, and I'll see you in the next lesson.